You guys can hear me all right. It's kind of a weird setup I have here. Everyone hear me all right? 1, 2. Sweet. What's up, Christopher? All right, guys. Well, if you guys can hear me okay. Oh, let me turn this shit off. Okay. I think I got it figured out. So, how's it been, y'all? Good to see you guys out here. It's kind of weird getting this all figured out. Let me turn this shit off. Yeah, dude, it's been like 2 years, I think, since the last one. Yeah, it's been a minute. Let me know also, I'm getting notifications on my phone and I'm using that as like the video and audio capture. If I'm getting a notification and it's like cutting out the audio or anything dumb, like let me know and I'll fix it. I don't want to have any like two boomer moments here. But yeah, dude, so just coming back in here to check up with y'all and let you guys in on some shit I've been thinking about. Maybe I'll start doing this more often if there's like you know, enough interest for this kind of thing. I don't want to be doing like just like live stream content creation for the hell of it. Like I really want to have like subjects, topics, you know, whatever. So yeah, I'll figure out how we're gonna do this, but I'm here now and we're in Florida now. Kind of reconfigured some things, making some music and shit. But yeah, let me jump into this. Hold up. All right, so I'm gonna start with a quote from the Talmud that I heard earlier today that I thought was pretty sick. It's on topic with this lesser magic shit. The demons are more numerous than we are, and they stand over us like mounds of earth surrounding a pit. And each and every one of us has 1,000 demons to their left and 10,000 to their right. I come from the school of thought that demons are very real, and they're here. And that's interesting about there's 10,000 demons on your right. Where traditionally in this type of stuff, like the right side is like the good side, the left side is the bad side or the, you know, less traveled side, whatever the fuck. But that's, you know, the right is supposed to be the good, proper, holy side, and I agree with the demons lurk in that more. And seeing a lot of that shit in like kind of fake virtue signaling Christianity type of shit growing up a lot, like I really identify with that. I could see that. And let me say, I'm not a witch. I've never been one. I'm only speaking from personal experience from like people that I know that have been witches and practice magic and all that kind of shit, you know. And I've seen it fuck with people, dude. And I just kind of want to give my unique perspective of telling it from the angle of like not being like caught up and indoctrinated into that type of shit, but being heavily exposed to it, you know, like through doing this music and shit like that. It's really like kind of got me there. Yo, Christopher, that is from the Talmud. I'm not sure what verse. I'll reference some things here tonight, and I'll try to come back in a comment and like post up if there's any like follow-up shit. Yeah, dude, it's just I understand magic to be real. All of the like Luciferian shit, like I acknowledge that as like totally real forces. I just don't fuck with it because I've seen it just really fuck things up. And I think it's all kind of like trickster bullshit, you know? Like that's kind of ultimately what it is. You know, the way I see it, the way I think the most accurate way to look at the earth or our lives here on it is that this is a battlefield of higher and lower forces. and we are those tools that it gets played out through. And I've been thinking, someone was asking when I did the Instagram question thing about free will, and that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. And the more I think about it, the more I kind of don't believe in its existence, but I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think about free will, if that's like a real thing, if it's something you guys have thought about a lot, because that shit's pretty crazy. But I know you can't control outcomes of shit when you are fucking with this like magic stuff and whatnot. And that's like the biggest mistake I've seen everyone make, is they think that they can fuck with these like interdimensional trickster things, and like they're not gonna fuck with them. And that's the thing that always like spooked me out. And maybe it's like, maybe I have this like hokey kind of like southerner mindset about shit or something, but like I always looked at that as like weird and fucked up, and like I don't want to be doing no shit where you fuck with weird things. Like I've seen enough like episodes of The Simpsons and cartoons growing up where it's like you get in any situation where there's like magic or someone grants a wish or some bullshit, like stay away from it. It's always gonna fuck you up, dude. I'm also like not mad about this or anything. It's just kind of like a funny thing that I think is worth talking about, because people either take it seriously and only talk about it as if it's like this great thing, like practicing magic and shit, or they're super skeptical and they don't take it seriously. And I think there should be like a serious skeptical approach to this kind of stuff. And like you know, especially considering all the stuff that happened with that Astroworld shit. It's like this lesser magic stuff, it's like the Astroworld shit is kind of like an okay example of it, because it's really not like this like occultic ritual where it's like I don't know, there's some fucking globalist type like elitist in the back of Astroworld, and like they were like summoning demons and like getting the souls of the dead people or whatever. Like it's not like that, dude. It's like but it is like a trance that comes over you. And I do think the Travis Scott Astroworld shit is like really more of like a sign of like cultural rot than it is like some kind of ritualistic abuse thing. But it really does show like this kind of where this nihilistic attitude kind of gets you, and people not caring about each other, or like thinking about like what they want out of like a social experience, like going to a festival, like listening to music, like what you get out of that. And I think we've kind of gone to the point where we're losing our humanity a little bit in regards to that. But hold on, so I'm trying to read you guys' comments and like keep up. Yeah, B-Vale, we're definitely on some kind of weird interdimensional chessboard fucking with demons and angels, and I don't really know like if there's a better way that we have to describe it. So like I think that that's kind of the best way. I mean, not necessarily a chessboard thing, but like, you know, it is kind of like this game where we're all kind of unwitting participants, like whether we like want to be or not, you know. But yeah, like pay attention to the artists you listen to and like what their intention was when they make the music, and like what the overall vibe of it is. Because I mean, dude, fucking most all new or new-ish music I've heard in the past like couple years or so, I just have this feeling of like there's no soul there. Like it's just, it's gone, dude. Like we've lost that like and I get like you, when you have like electronic music and stuff, you kind of lose this like human touch a bit, but like it is, yeah. Can you guys Hold on, let me see if I can see it. I can see it over here. You guys can see me now again? I can see it. I have like my tablet over here. Okay, cool, cool. Censored for spitting those facts about demons, bro. Okay, cool. Fuck, dude. So I don't even know what I was saying now. Hold up a second. Let me recompose myself. Yeah, where did I lose you guys at? I don't know how long I was lagging on y'all for. I got the big jar out tonight, boys and ladies. Yeah, dude, okay, so, and if you notice, like, and this is like, I tell people this kind of stuff with us a lot, like, I really like where we are as a band, like a nightclub level band, because one thing I've really noticed is that when you go above that level, like, there's this kind of like showbiz persona ego type of situation that ends up developing, that's like kind of like the show must go on types, you know, and that like creates this weird thing where you are less like, you have less agency over yourself, you know, and you have these instances, like I saw an interview where Grimes was talking about how she was supposed to name this song That's What the Drugs Are For or some shit, but her record label wouldn't let her. And like, she just kind of says that like matter-of-factly, nonchalantly, like as if that's like not a huge admission of like where your principles and your priorities are as an artist. And I think that that's a huge thing why you should pay attention to shit like that. And you should pay attention to when Travis Scott sees a fucking ambulance in the crowd and he doesn't like immediately stop the show or whatever. That's because he thinks there's other people in the crowd that are like wanting to hear him go on and they'll be mad or some shit. Or he's probably not even thinking any of that, you know? It's just like, it's just this trance that you get into, and especially like when you're performing, there's like so much like power that's in that. And when you get to that level of, you're doing it in front of that many people, like festival goers and shit like that. And as someone who's been to a bunch of festivals, who's played a bunch of festivals, I've never really liked them. I've never been a fan of that kind of stuff. I think it's always kind of bad energy, bad vibes. It depends on, I guess, what you're seeing and stuff, you know, but I just think that you lose this like personal connection once you get to a certain level, and there are certain people that aren't even aware of that, like artists that aren't aware of that, and those are the ones that are able to rise to the top because they are looking to satisfy other things than give full artistic statements of what their vision is, you know? Grimes is pretty cool, even I mean, Grimes is alright, I guess, dude. I just like, I don't really like the like whole kind of vibe of that like AI futuristic like space brain art school girl shit, but you know, do your thing, do your thing. So let's see, the next thing here is yeah, just pay attention to the vibes and the intention of the artists that you like listen to and that you like. And if you look at the people that have been like really nihilistic or like fucking with demons, or not even like even like ironically kind of doing it, and they've been doing it for a long time, like pay attention to those people, dude. Like I really have, and I've noticed that all of them are in some fucked up place that I would never want to be in, and then like they try to give you some bullshit ass advice on like how to do something, and you're like, dude, like your life seems psychotic, like I don't want to do that. So just pay attention to that shit with those people, because like it all seems so lighthearted, and that's how it comes in, and that's how the toxicity permeates throughout our culture, is that we think we're not really doing anything. We think we're just kind of fucking around. But that shit's real. I mean, it accumulates over time, and you don't realize like how much like everything you put out into the world like comes back, and it has an influence, if not even necessarily on you, on everything around you. And so like, I don't know, man, keep that shit in mind. Let me try to catch up on some of the shit you guys are saying here. Hell yeah, you got your white ring shirt on, Doug. So I like to hear. Oh, thanks. B-Vale says one of his favorite things is that we haven't stuck to a genre or a formula. Everything feels more amorphous. And yeah, dude, that's what I hope that it comes across as, because music isn't really supposed to be about finding a catchy, good formula and like exploiting it to death. It's supposed to be about like creating like unique perspectives that only you could come up with, and it's really just about a more overall spirit thing than it is about a formula or like a specific type of beat or like, you know, melody, whatever the fuck, you know. Thank you. My dumbass cousin says you don't like AI because of the virus you downloaded on LimeWire. You know I never used LimeWire. Napster and SoulSeek only, so banned. Iconoclast says I enjoy lurking random industry plant SoundCloud rappers. Yes, dude. That's another. That's like kind of, that's on my list. I have a whole list of live stream topics, and one of them is like how your music gets to you, and just kind of explaining that more to people. If you have any information, by the way, we address now at gmail.com. You can submit shit confidentially, non-confidentially, whatever you want, but we've been putting together some shit for my list of fools, and it's going all right. The more the merrier. I'd love to hear all your inside industry plant crazy theories, real receipts, whatever you got. I'll expose it all. Soul Seek on God, y'all. Let me see what else I got on these fucking notes, y'all. Just this kind of goes into the people that have been fucking with demons and all that kind of shit, is look at people's eyes, dude. It's like, it's all in the eyes, man. Like, tells you everything you need to know. You really don't need to like get much further than that. People that have the possession in them and that are like soulless like that, there is a vacancy. There is like a lack of moving. And it's not like, I'm kind of shifty-eyed myself. Like, I am very aware of the power that eye contact has with people, and I'm very like apprehensive to try to use that against people or have that be used against me. So the eyes, man, look at that shit, and if you get creeped out by someone, like, hone in on those instincts, man, and pay attention to them, man. Because that shit will tell you what you need to know. Merrick knows what I'm talking about. If you look at the fools in the eyes, they'll tell you what you need to know, man. And if someone says that they're spiritual, this is like one of my favorite like boomer memes from the early Facebook era. But when someone says they're spiritual, I say, what kind? Demons or spirits too? You have to be more specific. And I think that that shit is right on the money when it comes to most people that talk about these kind of vague niceties about shit. It's them hiding some type of creepy shit that they're into, so watch out for that. And I'm pretty sure that I Want My Tone just said that he's naturally creepy, and I agree. Yeah, dude, B-Vale, intuition is like a really real thing, and that was something that when I was on drugs, I kind of lost my sense of intuition, and I didn't really think about it all that much. And then I started to realize how real it was when I started kind of like losing it, and that shit you can rely on. That's your internal guidance, you know. That's also your subconscious doing shit at higher functions than like your conscious brain can be aware of, you know. Uh, Someone's talking about autism. What are you talking about autism for? If you're asking if I have it, I might. So another thing I want to say is this shit is not really like a deep state Illuminati thing. You don't need to have any of that kind of shit in your life to explain what's going on. It's a lot simpler and deeper than that. It's really just about good versus evil, and you don't need groups of men conspiring in a room to get the same effect as evil demonic forces on this planet are trying to fuck with us constantly. Joshua says, do you love me too literally saved my life. I listen to White Ring nonstop as I write my first screenplay. Thank you for the infinite inspiration and sonic love. Thanks, Joshua. That's really nice to hear that. Do you love me too has a special place in my heart. I think I've told the story of that song a few times, but that's a good one. Bville said that I'd be lying if I said that it hasn't failed me before, but I still stick to my gut feelings. Yeah, dude, it's something you have to hone. It's a muscle, kind of, you know, like, or if you could look at it like a muscle. You have to develop it over time, and just be super observant and discern everything that you do, and analyze the shit that happened behind you, and see if your intuition was right in that situation or wrong in that situation, and figure it out. Because that shit really, like, when you have your intuition like fully fired up, like, you don't, like, it sounds kind of shitty, but like, you don't really need facts. You don't really need to remember shit much. Like, that's one thing I gave up a long time ago, was like trying to remember fucking anything, dude. Like, I can't remember shit, and I just let my internal sense of right and wrong guide me. And people tell me stories about shit that I've done, and I'll laugh like as if it's the first time I'm hearing them. Like, hell yeah, cool. Like, that sounds funny. That sounds like something I would do. All right, I gotta keep up with this shit. So Doug Smith says, I recently just started studying and dabbling with chaos magic, and I kind of love it. I love creating rituals and shit of my own, not going by some book. It's been helping too, for real. Yeah, Doug, it does help, and it's kind of funny. Like, I did like the idea of, like, I heard someone talking about chaos magic and sigils and stuff, and it, like, it not having to be like some, you know, spooky looking witch house artist logo. Like, it can be like Sonic the Hedgehog masturbating or something, and like using like meme magic and stuff like that. And when you see that it gets an effect, period, that is such a kind of wild, like, exhilarating moment for you, but that is your ego building you up in order to let you down. And just be careful. Like, anything that makes you feel really, really fucking good, just be careful why it's doing that. Is it there to build you up just to fuck you over? It usually is. Marianella says, as humans, we've developed some crazy social dynamics. So the eyes and, more importantly, the muscles under the face have evolved to say so many things with every tiny movement. That is really true. It is kind of more than just the eyes. Like, you don't just like stare at the eyeballs. It's what humans know as like getting a read from someone through the eyes. And there's so many like subconscious functions that are happening there. I totally agree. Celestia says, is it wrong to think that the whole thing with Black Earth is based on a connection with nature and Mother Earth? Yeah, no, that's not wrong at all. It's Black Earth That Made Me is an origin story of like it's like original sin in a way, you know. It's it really wasn't supposed to be a like that statement or whatever. That was a collection of songs, but that was what that collection of songs felt like. You know, it was kind of like the genesis of White Ring, and Kendra came up with that name. I don't even know how. I think it just came to her or something, and we knew like right off the bat. We're like, that's the name for sure. Iconoclast says, I see a lot of people curious and intrigued by Witch House now than a few years ago. Yeah, man, these things, I think we hit past that 10-year mark where it got past the point of the cultural like staleness of like or cringiness factor of like everything from like 8 to 10 years ago is like the least coolest thing that there can be. Because it's not cool enough to be new yet, and it's not like in that like legacy category yet. And I think only in the past year or two, I guess Witch House. I feel like with White Ring, we've kind of solidified like what we are, where we're going, what our like kind of overall trajectory is going to be. And yeah, I think I don't know if you're gonna see too many breakthrough like new like Witch House bands. I think that shit is long gone. But you see it all the time. There's people that have definitely been inspired in one way or the other, and that's you don't want to just keep fucking inventing Witch House over and over, you know. Like, it's time to move on, you know. At least that's what we've been doing. That's like kind of what everyone should always be doing. But yeah, I mean, Witch House just kind of in general is it's an interesting genre. I don't know. Like, it's weird being so connected to it and not really like vibing with it that much, you know. And it's not that I don't like it. I just feel there's like a nihilism in so much of it because it's so like kind of like this like predictable like programmed hellscape, which it's supposed to sound like, but it's just been done so much at this point, you know. It's like you're not bringing someone to like a new world anymore when you do that kind of stuff. You're just kind of like polishing up the old one, you know. Let's see what else we got here. So this is, I don't like how 90% of beginner Witch House artists go for the same sidewalks and skeleton sound. Not as much overlap with other genres or sounds anymore. Yeah, for sure. That's kind of like, that was what I feel like I've like kind of beaten this horse to death, but like the only hope I think I would ever have had for Witch House, like in general, is if it could stick to a non-formulaic idea of what Witch House is, and that Witch House is just like the magic side of pop music, and it can kind of quietly in the background introduce new elements and shit. But when it just goes into like 3-6 Mafia, Dark Crystal Castle trap type beat shit, it's just, I don't know, man, it's just not 2009 anymore. And artistic statements are supposed to be valid, in my opinion, you know. Like, it's not just about making whatever you want. If you're doing it where you're putting it out and you have it for sale and shit like that, you know. Let's see what else we got here. I haven't seen Cemetery. I also there's another stream idea I have, but when the coronavirus pandemic shit first started and Tiger King, those memes were like blowing up and shit, like I realized that like a big push that's happening through the forces of evil right now is going to be getting people more and more hooked into Netflix, Facebook, Instagram, fucking TikTok, whatever the fuck it is, just consuming like content. And I realized like Netflix has just become like this like Hollywood propaganda machine. And then I kind of just got to that point with everything. After I stopped watching Netflix after the Tiger King, thinking I was like, after like until the pandemic is over, no more Netflix. And like as I stopped watching like television shows that were on Netflix, I then started being like, I don't think I really want to watch movies at all anymore, or TV. Like I think all the shit from like, you know, probably like the late 90s back, probably there's a lot of good stuff in there, but I've seen like so much of it, and it's like, do I want to like rewatch Heat again, you know? Like probably at some point. But like so I mean, Cemetery, that kind of shit, I am vaguely aware of it being like a horror movie from the 80s or some shit, but why are you asking me about it? Is there something good that I need to know about it? Yeah, y'all know about the Dark Crystal Castle's trap type beat. Let me see if I have any more notes in here. I'm kind of wrapping it up though. I think kind of got to what I wanted to say for now. People that talk about manifestation, be careful of those people, and be careful if you are one of those people manifesting. It backfires a lot, and I don't know why that was just a random note I put that there, but that's true. Gotta watch out for that. I mean, that's kind of it, dude. I wanted to say that we're living in Florida now, and I really like it here. It's really nice to be back here. I'm from Florida, and I feel like I was watching this dude on YouTube called Dr. Edward Dutton, the Jolly Heretic, and he was like talking about Poland and how it was like the last to kind of get westernized, and because of that, it's kind of doing the best right now, because it's the last to get those problems that the West is like importing into everywhere else in the world right now. And I kind of feel that way with Florida. Like, I feel like Florida is oddly always like 20 years behind the rest of the country, because we're just, especially where I am, southwest Florida, like all the way down at the bottom, very stagnant. It's very like no one's here unless no one's coming through, you know? It's like you're here if you're coming to visit here. And it's been kind of a cool vibe. Like, I feel like very much like, and in some ways it's kind of like how I grew up, with this kind of like small town, like southern charm kind of attitude, but it's definitely gotten like a lot bigger, like a lot more like stuff going on. So I don't know, people love to talk shit about Florida, and I think they should continue because it keeps a lot of the riffraff away. But if you're ever thinking of coming for a visit, highly recommend it. Merrick says anything fiction released recently hasn't really done anything for me. I agree. Merrick is a fellow Red Bar listener. If you guys haven't heard redbarradio.net, if you're like into comedy stuff, if you're into comedy but you're not into comedy stuff, and you're like really, I feel like Red Bar feels the way about comedy that I feel about music. Like, just not accepting this kind of shitty subpar standard of like, you know, Joe Rogan is supposed to be like the best, funniest guy in the world, and it's just like calling everything like with this kind of like naysayer poo-poo attitude. But it is what it is, man. Like, that is kind of a weird, we're living in a weird time, man, and most like 99% of shit sucks, and I don't think that that's me becoming like a jaded old boomer type. Like, I think that we're going to have like a cultural revolution as like a result of this, but we're definitely in some weird times. But that is always like the shit that like is the the petri dish that allows like a lot of their like really cool stuff, and I can't wait to see what happens with that. Riff Rat is the GOAT. I agree with White Boy Rick. It's such a good name for a riff raff head. Ian knows about the special water in Fort Myers. Shit, man. I guess that's it. Are you guys training for the apocalypse? I hope so. We might get one. Fingers crossed. In our lifetime, baby. Come on. Let's make it happen. Cool, man. It was good talking to you guys. Oh yeah, I had some questions. I'll answer those from the Instagram shit. I'm just gonna read off some of these. Favorite books? Haven't read a book in 2 years, probably. So I don't fucking know at this point, man. Check out Robert Seffer on YouTube. That dude's like an anthropologist that has a bunch of crazy shit to say that is very interesting. Remixes. There's a remix coming out, should be soon, for a band that I finished maybe a month ago. And I got like 2 more I'm working on right now. So remixes are coming, and hopefully some DJ sets and some DJ mixes and stuff will be coming in the future. I haven't read any. Someone asked what the most disturbing book on magic I've read was. I think I said earlier, I haven't read any books on magic. I have seen people practicing it and kind of passively been involved with that, and that was enough for me. Man, any advice for people who feel lost? Whoever this 60s person, write me personally, and I would like to talk to you about what you mean by lost, because there's some generic advice I could give you for sure, about, you know, just find meaning in your life and be present, and you won't feel lost if you learn how to just center your mind and be still. But you know, that's kind of generic stuff, so hit me up if you want to talk more on, maybe I can help. The same person asked what my thoughts on gatekeeping was. I have historically always been very anti-gatekeeping, but I've kind of softened my tune on that. There is some level of gatekeeping that certainly needs to go on, but I mean, I think it's ultimately like you should. I always feel like gatekeeping is only bad for yourself because it keeps you in a stagnant position with the knowledge that you currently have. But when you give it out freely and openly to other people, it keeps you constantly wanting to move, you know. What does Witch House mean to me? I think I kind of, you know, answered that. Kind of answered all this shit. How is Florida so far? Pretty fucking good. There's a bunch of these questions, a lot of repeat ones. My first synth was a microKORG, for the person who asked about that, and I was thinking of trying to get another one at some point, just for touring, because it's such a like fucking road dog beast that can just take anything. Yo, shit. So all the people are asking about when and where we're playing. Come here, come there. We have an agent now, Ethan at Heavy Talents, and if you want us to play, hit him up. And we're trying to tour. We'd like to. We don't have anything right now. We might have like some more Florida stuff coming up, but we're working on some things, and we got some new brand new shit happening too, so it's kind of just taking it all day by day. The lyrics for Show Me Heaven, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with those, because I wanted to hold off from putting those out for like at least a year, but you know, we're coming up on that, and I'd like to do it in some way that's kind of more interesting than just putting out the lyrics. People have mentioned, like, someone was talking about doing an NFT with it, but I don't really know if I like that idea so much. I do like the idea of just like the shirt, the fake fuck shirt we made had like most of the lyrics to the chorus of that song on it. Kind of like the idea of just kind of releasing them by just hiding them in like merch designs and shit like that, and then that. But I like the ambiguity that you get from not having the like a lyric sheet in front of you. I remember when I first started hearing what like Hawk2 Twins lyrics were actually saying, I was kind of disappointed. But only because it was just like this amazing gibberish I made up in my mind, and thought she was singing about Applebee's and shit. It was crazy. As far as the Europe people that are asking for Europe, I fucking don't know, man. We would really love to be back in Europe. I mean, before COVID started, our kind of game plan as a band was to be like a band that releases an album every like a couple of years and like tours Europe mostly. That shit is not happening now. Like, I don't know, it's just even playing local shows, not local shows, but you know, like regionally local shows for us. You know, it's easy to do that, but everyone like I'm in like the southern area of the United States now, and that's kind of the place where the most shows are happening, and it's like the most open, and so it's not too hard to do shows down here. But you know, booking stuff for New York and LA, like we've had stuff like canceled. We've had to cancel stuff. We're not doing anything regarding like vaccine mandates. Like we're not gonna play a show that requires you to get a vaccine and it doesn't allow you to have a negative COVID test. Because I know there's a lot of people that are against like taking some shit from the pharmaceutical companies that almost just killed them in the opiate epidemic. So like I want to be very aware of not getting suckered into that, and being an instrument that darker forces use to get people like that like our band to get maybe some shit that they might not agree with if they weren't like fucking going to see us, you know. So we're not doing anything like that. We just want things to be kind of like normal, like, you know, like just if you're sick, go, like don't come, wear a mask, like if it makes you like feel like you better about wearing a mask. I understand that too, dude, like to a degree, like with being in like rooms, like nightclubs that are just like filled with people and shit, like if you want to wear a mask and you want to be vaccinated and all that shit, like I'm not like, God bless, do what you want. But yeah, that's just like, it's just too weird. I don't want anyone to have to do anything like that to see us. Like I want it to feel more like going to church and not going to like your rehab program, you know? Like that's just how I feel about that shit. Yeah, no problem. If anyone has any questions about the epidemic, about anything, man, like I'll talk about shit. I have some pretty kooky ass wild views and opinions, but I don't really like to broadcast it, but I'm not hiding it. So if anyone wants to ask me some shit, I will answer some shit. But besides that, I'll probably head off here in the next few minutes. Gonna wrap it up here. See if there's any more questions through the Instagram stuff. All right, yeah, I think that's it, y'all. Well, it was nice talking to you guys. Oh, the person asking about new merch. We do have a new shirt design coming. It'll probably be a couple of weeks until it's out, but we'll post it, and we'll get it done as soon as we can and have it out there. Besides that, you know, keep an eye on our website, boundmfg.com, and our Bandcamp for some other shit. B-Vale, if you know any promoters in Iowa, we're like all about coming out to just anywhere that, you know, can get us out there. Fucking Iowa, dude, I would love to go to Iowa right now. Find someone from Slipknot to hook it up, B-Vale. Alright guys, well, thanks for coming out, and if there's enough interest, I will, you know, do this again sooner than 2 years from now. But if you have any more questions for me, anything like that, just hit us up on Instagram. Email us, whiteringforever@gmail.com. And that's about it, y'all. Peace out.